Welcome, dear students, to your SST class. As you know, social science has three parts: history, civics, and geography. In today's video, we are going to study history chapter number 2. As we all know, in the earlier times, there were lots and lots of kings, kingdoms, empires, and rulers. They all were fighting for more and more power with each other. In this chapter, we are going to study about the different rulers, their administration, and how they collected more and more power. I hope you people are ready with your books. So let's open the history book and be ready to study the next chapter. Let's start with our next chapter of history, that is chapter number 2, New Kings and Kingdoms. Many new dynasties and rules emerged after the 7th century. What is a dynasty? Dynasty is a family of rulers who rule over a country for a long period of time. Kingdom. Any country which is ruled by a king or a queen is considered to be a kingdom. Empire. An empire can be said is a large kingdom. Who were Samantas? Samantas basically were the big landlords or warrior chiefs, subordinates to existing kings. They were expected to bring gifts to their kings and provide them military support and attended king's court. With time, gradually they became powerful and wealthy. Slowly, they declared themselves as Mahasamantas. We'll be studying now about the new kings and dynasties that emerged. The first one being the Rashtrakutas. Danti Durga was the first king belonging to the Rashtrakutas. He basically was the Samanta of the Chalukyas, but he overthrew his overlord and performed a ritual called Hiranyagarbha, meaning the golden womb, to become a Kshatriya. Second were the Gurjara Pratiharas and the Harichandras. Both of them were Brahmins belonging to Rajasthan. Next, we are going to study about the administration in the kingdoms. Here, in these kingdoms, the kings gave themselves high-sounding titles like Maharaj Adhiraj, which means Overlord of Kings, Tribhuvan Chakravartin, Lord of the Three Worlds, and many others. The kings used to collect the taxes for different purposes. To finance their establishments. Secondly, to construct massive structures like forts, temples, palaces, etc. Next is the Prasasthas and the land grants. What are Prasasthas? Prasasthas are the long praising poems for the kings, which were written by the Brahmins. And they might not be literally true. Land grants were given to the Brahmins who wrote these poems, making the kings happier. These were recorded on copper plates, which were given to the people who received them as a token. Next topic is the warfare for wealth. Every ruling dynasty tried to control other areas for wealth by means of war. First example here is the Sultan Mahmoud of Kazani of Afghanistan. He ruled Afghanistan from 997 to 1030 CE. He ruled the part of Central Asia, Iran, etc. His targets were the wealthy temples. The first and the foremost example is the Somnath temple in Gujarat. He looted the temple thrice. Later on, he hired a scholar named Al-Biruni to write the account of the subcontinent, and Al-Biruni wrote a book called Kitab al-Hind, in which he provided all the details required by the Sultan about India. Next were the Chauhans or the Chahamanas. They were the rulers of Delhi and Ajmer. They were opposed by the Chalukyas of Gujarat. The best known Chahamana ruler was the Prithviraj III. He ruled from 1168 to 1192. Prithviraj III defeated an Afghan ruler, Sultan Mahmoud Ghori, in 1191. But the very next year, he lost the battle against Muhammad Ghori. Next is the Chola Empire. Raja and Rajendra built splendid temples at Tanjore and Gangaikondapuram. There were various economic, social, and cultural activities associated with the Chola temples. These temples were the nucleus of the settlements that grew around them. These were centers of crafts, production, like bronze images. Temples received huge endowments from rulers, which made them very rich. How did the Cholas work to improve in the field of agriculture? They built wells, canals, embankments, etc. to provide proper water services. The administration of the Cholas. At the local level, Brahmanas village assembly was there, which was known as Sabha, and the non-Brahmin assembly was called as Nadu. The local peasants assembly was called as Ur, and all of them performed many administrative functions. Sabha looked after Brahmadeva. Members of Sabha got elected through a lucky draw. There was a pot in which the slips were made and put. A child was called to pick up those slips. The name appeared on those slips was becoming the member of the Sabha. In this chapter, there are certain terms like Sultan, Muvendavelan, Ariyar, tripartite struggle, Nagaram, Ur, Sabha that you need to remember. Here are the certain points that are to be remembered. Who were Gurjara Pratiharas? They ruled over Rajasthan and Gujarat. Rashtrakutas were the rulers of Western Deccan. Palas ruled over Bengal. Cholas ruled Tamil Nadu. Chalukyas were the ruler of Karnataka, and Pallavas were the rulers of Kanchipuram in South India. So that's all what we have studied in this video. Thank you.